and disconnect our battery terminals using a 10mm socket, and remove the ground as well as the positive. Let's get to remove our 10mm bolt here for the battery brace. Pop that off. I'm simply going to spin that aside, and I'm going to put the bolt back in the cross member here. Let's go ahead and remove our battery. Grab the brace and the J-hook, and then we're going to grab our battery liner here, pop that out as well. So just above the fan there is a 10mm bolt right here for the expansion tank. We're going to use our 10mm socket and our ratchet. Let's go ahead and remove this bolt. Move that bolt, set it aside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lift up on this here, but just as we pull it out, you're going to see the hose right here. I'm going to just pop that out of its little clip here and down the side, just pop it out. Lift up on the expansion tank, slide it on over, pull this up and out, and bring the hose with it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab a catch can, grab a bucket or catch can here. We're going to open up the top, and we're going to pour what we have for coolant in here. And pop the cap back on. Go ahead and set that aside. It's going to allow us to work a little bit without making a mess. Now I'm going to use a pick to remove this hose clamp right here. Ours is pretty rusted. It may or may not survive. So take a look, evaluate your situation. If it looks like it's in rough shape, grab a hose clamp so that you'll be able to reinstall the hose on your new component. I'm going to use my pick, and I'm going to slowly work this off. And the pick worked just fine for us. Let's go ahead and grab that hose, and we're now going to go ahead and separate it. And go ahead and take your hose, slide it onto the new component, and then put your clamp back on. Now we did put our hose clamp on, but it must be stretched out. It's just old and rusty. I don't want to end up with any leaks. We're just going to replace it. Snip it off, get rid of it. Here we go. We'll snug up that hose clamp. That way there we have no leaks in the future. Go ahead and line this up. We're going to feed this right back down. And the bottom right here has a tab, and that's going to fit right into the bracket down below. We're going to pop our hose into our little tabs right here. Feed that down, and we're going to pop this one into this connector right here. Feed this down. You're probably going to have to reach down and get that lined up and into that notch. All right, now that we're in, let's go ahead and install our bolt at the top. Let's go ahead and install our bolt. Start it by hand and thread it in as far as you can. Now go ahead and snug that down. Once that's snug, you want to go ahead and unscrew this cap here. The coolant that you had just taken out, or you can use some fresh coolant, fill this up using your funnel and fill it up to the full line, which is the second line from the bottom up. Then you can go ahead and reinstall your cap. And take our battery tray, line this up, drop it into place, line up the pins on the body. Want to make sure that the main shield is between the overflow and the fans. Set that in like that. I'm going to install our J-hook here. We'll go ahead and lower our battery down, making sure that the positive side of the battery is facing the front of the vehicle. Grab your J-hook, bring this around. Before we pop that on, let's go ahead and get our battery sleeve put on, if you have it. There we go. I want to go ahead and snug down that 10mm bolt right there. And take our negative terminal, going to set that into place, grab our positive terminal, set this into place and line up our little harness retainer here. Let's go ahead and snug down our battery terminals.